All right, well, howdy guys. Sorry I'm a little bit late this time. Ended up watching a movie today and it's got a little bit delayed on the way back, but I'm here now. Might go a little bit past the regular time to make up for it, but we'll see how it goes. Agenda for today. A friend on the server was recommending trying out reworking a Dragon Ball Z picture I worked on back in 2019. That was around the time like I took a major break from just art in general. Yeah, I did a little bit of side work last night, just trying to do some composition work and stuff like that. It still needs a little bit more work, but we'll see here in a few. But yeah, I think that's going to be the focus for tonight. Probably we'll just keep going on it. Hopefully we can finish up all the composition today. Yeah, I think that's about it. It's going to be a pretty chill night. Sorry again that I was late. Just a weird Sunday, but it's all good. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Where's my little boy? Oh, there he is. So yeah, so you're gonna pull up the old one here. So yeah, this as you can see right here, this is what I currently have. My old version looked a little bit more like this. It's a little bit smaller, and you can see like I kind of haphazardly like put stuff all over the place. I kind of just like drew things and then just kept coloring it. Hi, Claw. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I basically was like, oh, I should work on this. Last night I was like, oh, let's work on it, and I worked on it for a little while because like I just I wanted to get a head start on it, so we'll see where it goes from here. Let's see if I can merge. I'm wondering if I want to merge these layers. Yeah, for this, like, I didn't want to go too far into like details, just like get the general layout down before I start anything crazy. You generally don't want to waste too much time on something until you're sure that like, oh, this is the exact way I want it positioned and all that. I know it's pretty late on a Sunday for you guys, but I hope your weekend was good. I lost an hour. I think I don't know who else besides the US uses like daylight savings time. Like I think the Netherlands does, but I forgot who else. I forgot what Piccolo's ear looks like. Need to look up Piccolo's ear for science. That does not look like his ear. That one looks, yeah, it's slightly compressed. Hold on. Arizona and Hawaii. Is that right? I could maybe understand for Hawaii. I'm not sure what. My only guess is it. I feel dumb. I don't know geography. Is it closer to the equator? Is that why? I really don't know. It's like southern, isn't it? Like southeast? I don't know, man. The geography is one of the two subjects I got a D on in high school. Anything with remembering stuff, like location or history, I'm gonna forget. I know. Little did we realize we'd have a device in our pocket that would tell us everything, everywhere. This is a cool shot of Cell, like with the Earth right behind him. I kind of want to recreate here. I don't know what they were thinking when they decided to make Cell. Like, he's like one of the hardest characters to animate. With all the like spots on his body. Must have been a pain. Yeah, geography, history, and biology. Hated those subjects. They're the worst. I didn't like biology because my teacher was a biatch back then. She and I did not like each other like whatsoever. I don't know why she didn't like me, but she was just like always rude to me. Yeah. The past is old news. Beef with your geometry teacher? What's your angle? What's your angle about this? I liked my geometry teacher, but he was he could get like mad like on the dime, or like all of a sudden he'd start like yelling if like some kid said something like, oh, this isn't fair or whatever, and he's like, when we had like a sudden quiz or whatever. He's like, fair? Life's not fair. A cutie. Oh, depends. Trying to think who else, like, I don't think I really had like beef with any other teachers. It was really just my biology teacher that was really annoying back in high school. Well, it was weird because like we had like a laptop school, which nowadays sounds like what it sounds goofy, but back then it was like, I don't think it was like super common for like a student to have like a laptop. That was kind of a big deal then, but all the students pretty much abused it. We do like LAN parties and stuff in the middle of class. I got the reason why I was able to go there was because of like what do you call that, scholarships or whatever. Otherwise, yeah, I couldn't afford it. It was a gimmick. Like nowadays it's kind of like whatever. Nobody would care. Yeah, exactly. It was a lot of fun back then. But yeah, it's probably like not the most productive setup. Especially if like you're trying to learn stuff. Trying to find a reference for Android 18 that isn't bad. My favorite's Gohan. Preferably during like the Cell Saga. They called him Teen Gohan, but he was like 10 during them, which was always weird to me. Yeah, Future Trunks is cool too. Vegeta I used to not really like, but nowadays, especially with Super, I think like I've grown to appreciate him more. If there's one thing that I think Super like did a good job with was like making him a more fleshed out character. Especially with like the Moro arc that they're gonna go into with the anime being brought back. Well, I think they're basically retelling the story. I don't know if they're like doing the anime completely over or if they're just retelling the what was it? They're basically starting over with Beerus, and I'm forgetting the name of the first movie. I would say maybe like if you're gonna go back into it, like wait for the new series to come back, because they're basically reanimating it. The one thing with Super that a lot of people didn't like was the production was so rushed. And you could really feel it in some of like the scenes on like the first like 30 episodes or so. And I think a lot of people don't really understand, like it's not, they treat time like it's like, you know, relative. Like, oh, you had, you know, 10 years to work on it or whatever. I'm like, productions don't work that way. It's usually like slotted time where they are only able to work on it during then, and they could be having, you know, schedules mixed with other series or something like that, so they can only allocate like a certain number of animators, and then they got to work under like super tight deadlines to finish each episode. Like, I think the only way you can kind of like work around it is by like outsourcing to like freelance workers, freelance animators. But again, it's like even like a legendary like team can only do so much when like the production's like sloppy. Especially like if you've seen like it still kills me, like One Punch Man season 3. So fucking sad, dude. But I blame Bandai for that. I don't know what they were thinking of that. That's the part I don't understand, is like that's literally like one of the biggest like IPs to come out like in the last like 10 to 15 years. Yeah, it was rough, like super rough. But I don't blame the animators for that. I don't think it's their fault. I'm pretty certain it was just like the production team or whoever, you know, the corporate heads decided to like rush, like give them a rush production, limited budget and time. It's like they can't perform miracles. There was another series like that where they just completely ran out of budget in like the first episode was like extremely good. Uzumaki, I think it's called. Where like the first episode was like perfect, and because they ran out of budget, like the rest of the series was just terrible. But it like, you can't help it if you're like limited on time or assets. Yeah, it's so sad though. It does give me more of an appreciation for season 2. Like, a lot of people were saying really bad things with season 2. I still think it was good overall. But the thing is, like, they set such a high like bar with season 1 that they would have never, they'd never be able to reach that. It's kind of like when you, it's kind of like with Mob Psycho 100, where like they just had the perfect like setup, but in the case of, you know, Mob Psycho 100, it was like 2 seasons, and they properly like managed that production, which I'm kind of glad they did, because it was a great series. But I think they were more prepared for in that situation, but Bandai just completely dropped the ball on it. I haven't seen The Promised Neverland, but I've heard good things about it. But yeah, I think like people are saying like it dropped off like around season 2 like really bad. Need to find another reference. Maybe this one will be better. It was good. I watched Marty Supreme, I think it's called. It was very anxiety inducing, but in the same way that like Uncut Gems was, which I think was the same director for both. But like the main character is such a I don't know. He's like a very like, he's not a good person by any means, but he is very like, he's very charming. But the things he does to like try to like weasel his way into things is like so it's entertaining, but like he's not a good person. But basically like the whole premise is like he's trying to get into like the world championships of like tabletop tennis. And it is like the 1950s or whatever, and it's not really like a thing in the US, but basically it was like an attempt to try to popularize it by becoming like the world champion. And the things that like the situations he gets into is just so like nerve-wracking, because it's like he keeps finding ways to find a new low, and you're just like, my god, man, please stop. But it is entertaining. But the lead actor is the same guy from Dune. I think he was better in this, or at least he has more of like a personality than the character in Dune. But it's similar kind of like arrogance, I guess, that he's like typecasted into. I would, but I have a feeling like I wouldn't want to rewatch it just because of the amount of anxiety it gave me. But I think for a first time, yeah, it's good. I think it's like, when I say anxiety, it's just like the not knowing what's gonna happen, because he keeps like getting into these god awful situations, and it's impressive, really. But yeah, he just does a lot of like terrible things to try to like get his way into because eventually like there's like a world championship in Japan that he tries to get money for and get into, and it's just like the amount of crimes this man has committed is just insane. It was weird though, because there's a bunch of people in it that I didn't realize, and then some I immediately realized or recognized. Like Tyler, the creator's in there. I think my brother brought it up. I think Penn from Penn and Teller was there. The one guy that did like there's a homeless guy that did like, he had like it was that one video that went viral where like he's a talk show host, and then like this guy recorded him on the street and noticed like how good of a voice he had. So he ended up getting a gig in that as well. It was like all these random people that I remember. But it's like, it was a good cast. It was just not who I'd expected to be like cast into like those specific roles, except for Kevin O'Leary, because he definitely fits that the role he's in. But yeah, overall it was a good movie. I do want to see Hoppers. I think I told my family, I was like, I need a chill movie next time. And I was like, Hoppers looks cute. I would watch that. I think the writer for, what was it? We Bare Bears worked on Hopper, so I'm kind of interested to see how that translates. You get rid of him. Get rid of him. Out of this house. Out of this house. Some guy on Twitch. I don't know. You botting. Gross. Thank you. I'll stick with my one viewer claw. Thank you. I actually don't know how many viewers there are, but I'm assuming it's just us, Claw. I don't expect anyone to join this session. It's late on a Sunday. Yeah, I don't know. You are. Thank you. Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of people that are like available on Sunday, but it's the only day like I can fit where my schedule's spread out enough. Otherwise I'd have to do back-to-back days, and I'm like, I don't know if I have the energy for that with work. I forgot to ask, how was your day, Claw? Why didn't you sleep, Claw? My God. You had night terrors. You should sleep. I hate that. Do you take what is that called? Like is it melatonin? I forgot. Like the stuff to help you sleep. They're like, I think they usually come in gummies or chewables. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you don't wanna mess with the other medication. I would say maybe like check with your doctor then in that case, just to make sure. Because I mean, you need your sleep. That's like super important. Maybe not. Yeah, I'd say maybe just check with your doctor next time, just to confirm whether or not it's like okay to combine that with the ADHD meds. I mean, aside from that, like how's that been helping? Like, have you noticed? I know you told me initially like that it was helping you like focus better, but I think you also mentioned like it affects your mood. I think Sunko mentioned that too when he took them. A lot, like not recently, but like a while back. I remember like it was affecting his mood. That's good. I'm glad it's been an improvement at least, but yeah, you definitely need your sleep more than anything else. Yeah, I guess it depends on the dosage. I'm pretty sure I have similar attention issues, but I just kind of I think that's part of why I do so many random things. Like if I just have a bunch of different tasks, like it just kind of works. So if I get bored on one, I just switch to the other. Something about the hair. I don't know. Something about her in general doesn't look great. Gonna have to keep playing around with it. Well, if I remember, like, the last time you mentioned, like, you wanted to start on, like, an app idea, but, like, just having a thought of what you wanted to do was the problem. I think, like, in your case, it's probably just, you know, think of something that you'd be interested in, like, using on your day-to-day. It doesn't have to be, like, the most popular thing in the world, but if it feels like a certain, like, niche that, you know, you haven't seen, like, in the market, or maybe it is, but you want your own version of it, or if it's missing a feature, for example. Like, I think I brought it up at one point, like, with the fitness trackers or whatever. Where, like, you could take a photo of, like, the food you had for, you know, a certain meal, and then it, like, makes an estimate of, like, the calories and the nutrition in general. Like, maybe there, you know, maybe there's something, like, you could do there, or just something random like that. I don't know, there's so much AI related stuff though that I wouldn't be surprised if that already exists in some form or fashion. But I still think that's better than to just do, like, the typical, like, to-do list app that every, like, CS, like, student would do. Yeah. I guess something that would just, like, pique your interest, I guess, more than anything else. I wouldn't call it a big thing necessarily, but the first thing that, like, I used for a while was I had, this is a while back, but, like, I made my own version of the YouTube, like, converter, where it would just download, like, it would download the video, and you could choose either, like, a video format or just audio. But I just kind of, like, made my own web version of it, because I mean, I don't have it online anymore, but at the time it was kind of nice to just have my own version, because, like, a lot of those sites that do that, they usually have, like, you know, some form of spyware or, you know, weird stuff going on you know, malware ridden kind of thing. But I'm like, I don't trust that. Yeah. Yeah, when you build something like that for yourself, like it's just kind of nice. Like even if you're just using like an you know, an existing library, like the one I used was YouTube DLP for the back end. But then you just like, you could do it through like the CLI or whatever, but it's kind of handier to have it like with a much easier interface, where you just kind of, you know, just like plop in the URL and then just choose like from a selection of things like you would like any other website. So that's like one example of like an app that you could make. And the thing with that too is like, that's easier in the sense that like you don't really have to work with like any sort of CRUD operations, anything like that. It's just really just like its own service. In theory, you could have it be what's that called, where you run it, you can run it basically like locally in a way. I forgot the name of it. I always forget the term. It's gonna drive me crazy. It's kind of like a static site. Not standalone. There's a term for it, and I always forget the name. But yeah, I guess you can kind of treat it like a standalone, like, interface. But there's a term for it, and I always forget the name of it. But yeah, it's essentially like statically hosted. Hi Wrench, welcome. Yeah, sorry, I was late today. My advice, Claw, is like, don't worry about making the website portion yet. Work on the back end. So like, based off of your app idea, just work on like implementing the actual feature through a console app. And then once that works, then you can like focus on like building a front end for it. But you can do the conversion to like, you know, server side once you just have like a basic implementation of it. Because then you have, you know, if you did it all at once, then you have to build like API wrappers and all that. It gets a little convoluted. it's easier to do that like once you already have a framework to go off of, but when you're just doing it from scratch, like it's better to just test it through a console first. I haven't really like been doing anything that anything like sort of web related. What I've been thinking of doing, and I kind of have like, I think I mentioned it before, but I've been trying to think of like artists like workflows for like app ideas. Either that or for game developers. So like, I think I showed it to you at one point, but I had built a Python app that can create spreadsheets out of like GIFs or just from reading like a Krita project. It's able to convert that KRA file to a sprite sheet, assuming it has a timeline and everything like that. It gets kind of convoluted because like for Krita, for example, like there's like in order to do like plugins for it, it has to execute like a headless version of Krita. They just call it like the Krita runner, but that's how you do plugin scripts through it. If you're gonna do it like through a standalone app, like it has to first verify that like it has an instance of Krita running before you can do anything with it. Otherwise it's like, you know, it doesn't know, the system doesn't know what it is. But yeah, you could, I mean, you could definitely like just host that. Like if you had like a website hosting it, like you just store the install on there and you can do the runner through there. But if you're doing it locally, like it's doable. It's just there's some like requirements you would have to install before like running the actual app. Our directory checks. It also works with Photoshop, but there's like a lot of caveats to that. Because I technically don't have Photoshop, so I couldn't really test it. I tried to do it with what's the other one? CSP. I always forget the name of it. Clip Studio Paint. But Clip Studio Paint, like the data that the databases store for that are kind of limited. They don't store timeline info for animations, so I can't really do anything much with it. A lot of it is sort of like proprietary, unfortunately. I think with the international version, you could probably get away with making something for that, like a plugin, but the American version, at least, you can't really do anything fancy with it, unfortunately. But yeah, with that in particular, like it was just a really small idea that just took me like a few days to implement. But that's like something I would recommend is like if you can figure out like one, even if it's like a really small thing, like that is still pretty helpful if you keep doing it over and over and there's not really like an automated solution for it. That could be helpful. But I was thinking at some point, maybe like if the channel grows enough, I'd probably like set up like a Patreon or something where I could just create like some like workflow programs and maybe just or workflow like artist workflow like applications that you just run off your desktop that I probably just put on Patreon or something. Yeah, you always want to start small. The only time, like, I don't know, this sounds kind of hypocritical, but like, I think with video game projects, like, I think it's okay to go big on it, but you have to have like the right mentality for it. There's a lot of like people that are like, oh yeah, make small games, and I'm like, yeah, but that really doesn't help set you apart unless you have like an amazing idea. Like from a pragmatic standpoint, I don't think that's the best solution unless like you have a really unique idea. But I think in most other contexts, it makes sense. I know there's sites that you can even like just like host an API off of, and they pay you for that. I think it's usage based, but you can at least like publish an API. Let's see. Yeah, that's the general idea. Is like, it's meant to be a means of like, it's basically to minimize like your risk, right? But I think it's I do think it is like a pragmatic thing. I think it makes sense if you want to do small like video game projects. It's just that I wouldn't do it under the expectation that you're going to make a lot of money, basically, is what I'm saying. There's very few developers that hit that level with a small game, you know what I'm saying? You know, for every like Balatro, there's gonna be like thousands of other like small games that never get beyond like, you know, 100 copies sold that have like a similar idea or genre. But yes, I do agree, like, it is good to learn from the perspective of, like, oh, hey, now I can finally, like, figure out how to publish a game on Steam, and like, understanding, like, how to... just, like, the the amount of like confidence that you would gain from being like, I finished a game. You know, there's not really that many people out there, especially like any developers that, you know, are willing to go through all that and be like a success. But I think it also depends on your definition of success too. Like for me, like, yeah, obviously it would be great to, you know, make something moderate off of, you know, a game or whatever, right? But for me, like, just being able to finish like that one game idea is worth it so much more to me. And I'd rather risk it and go big and just stick with it than to just make a bunch of small things that I'm not really that interested in. Like on the art side, it's a lot different, right? Because, you know, the cycle is like a lot different and the exposure is a lot different. But with games, like, it's not as immediate, right? Like for games, I mean, assuming like you have a demo and stuff, you know, it's a lot harder to gain, like, not only just getting the discoverability, but also just like purchase that game and then on top of that, like, be able to have that retention is like so hard that I think it's like kind of an issue if you're trying to do like a small game, right? Unless you have like the craziest like game loop. Which I think like a lot, I think like the big thing as of recent is like the what do they call that, like the iterative games. Exactly, yeah. Even in like even in like a small game, like it still takes months to set up, assuming you're not using like pre-made assets and things like that. I think there was one channel I used to watch called I mean, I'll watch them from time to time, but Bite Me Games, I think they did like they tried to basically like finish a game, I think within a month, and it performed better than like a big chunk of like their games that they already made at that point. So it really just depends. I mean, I think that game was more of a like a streamer bait type of game, because it was like I think that one was like you're on a unicycle and you have to deliver pizzas with like, and it was multiplayer and stuff, but it was like more of a rage game. So like it makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, is that really what you wanted to do? Is that something? It's not like a dream project or anything like that. It's just kind of like, yeah, I need money kind of thing. And I mean, I get it. They're a business, so you gotta make money somehow, but still, it's like, I'd rather just, for me, like for games, like I'd rather just take my time and enjoy the process. Like don't work on it just for the sake of working on it. But I really do want to get back to Neverwake. I need to figure out when, so I'm thinking like maybe, because I go on vacation next month. It'll be for a couple weeks, but when I get back, I'm like kind of hoping like I can start doing streams with Neverwake or related stuff. Even if I can't do the stuff in Unreal right away, maybe I'll just start doing like animated portions, because I do need to set up like some of the battle system stuff. So, you know, maybe adding more battle animations, idols for like the remaining party members, stuff like that. So I really want to start doing that. I miss it. It changes. Music's weird. Let's see. Do that. Yeah, that's probably what I would work on in tandem with that. Are you saying from are you saying for Neverwake, or? Because I could definitely do like concept pieces and stuff like that. Yeah. I could do some like concept pieces live or however. But I think doing all that live would be helpful because it would put me on that mindset again. Get me back on the grind. Basically, like, I want to try to finish, the Pokemon intro. Hopefully, I can get it done before I leave next month. And then, that video will be up, and then, probably we'll just start doing more streams of like Neverwake and stuff while I work on like the fan game stuff behind the scenes, because I know I started streaming stuff with Mario and stuff like a few weeks back, but I might just do more of that behind the scenes so I can focus on like Neverwake stuff. I'm not sure how long that would take me anyway. Do I need to make her like head taller? Something like looks funky about her and I don't know what yet. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's what it was. She also has like a slightly thicker neck, I think. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I think streams like, because originally I was like, oh yeah, just like work on fan stuff. You know, that might be more interesting to people, but I think just like maybe not worrying so much about like what's popular, what isn't, and just having fun is more important. So I'm not really going to worry about like, oh, I got to make sure I have like, you know, this IP that I'm working on for the game dev stuff. I'm like, I'll do that for a video, but if I'm going to do anything game dev related, it'll just be my own thing, I think. But we'll still be doing like, you know, doodle sessions and like, you know, fan art and stuff. So it's just much easier to like finish in a timely fashion compared to like an entire game. So how's the progress going on your video, by the way, Wrench? Trying to fix this like jawline's looking funky. Maybe if I lower it a bit here. That's good. How long was the last one going to be? I don't remember if you said you were going to split it into 2 parts. But I remember you said it was pretty long. Yeah, that's long. But I think for that type of content, like people are definitely like gonna watch through a majority of it at least. Like I think it fits like a interesting niche, you know. That's good. I think like just doing like jam packing like content, like you think that would be like a negative, right? But I think like if it's super focused on like a particular series and it's entertaining, like it doesn't really matter how long it is that much. Yeah, Claw. Wrench does videos too. That's what his renders were for. Plus the one of his character, which looks awesome. But I'm sure it'll do well. Yes. Nope. His stuff is very good. Yeah, hopefully. I know how it feels like when you spend a long ass time on a single video. It's kind of like anxiety inducing because like then you're like, oh god, is it gonna be worth the amount of time I put into it? But you kind of just have to. There just comes a point where you just gotta be like, I'm finished. And it's done. Just put it behind you. Yeah, I'm hoping I can get mine done early April. And 17. Look goofy. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. That's the thing that killed my my last video, I think. Yeah, that cooked me with the last video, I think. Like the actual video itself, like the production was pretty good, but the thumbnail, I think, like just you didn't have anyone click on it. Unfortunately. But it's like, you can't dwell on it either. You just gotta kind of have to learn from it and move on. You can't, I think the problem too is like, I think the thumbnail's kind of an afterthought because you're so focused on like the actual video itself that like it becomes an afterthought until like the day you want to actually publish it and you're like, oh, okay. But I think like you have to like just treat it as part of the video in a way, like part of the production, and that like you have to slot time for it in the same manner. Yeah, I'd say like you almost want to do it earlier in the process so you have more time to work on it. Yeah, it's, I don't like that. Like, why? I don't know. It's, I think that that's part of the curse of like having to do it as a job too. Is like people are so like fed into like outrage and stuff, or just being negative. Yeah, clickbait titles. It's just like, why can't you just like do what you like, what, just be positive, do what you want to do, and just not worry about like having to appeal to like the modern day community, which I don't know. It's just like, I don't like how it's so negatively driven, but I guess because he's very critical of series, so I guess that is kind of like his part of his backbone of his like content too. But I don't know. I don't like that category. I don't want to be in a position of like making enemies with people or anything like that. I mean, it's good like if you want to make suggestions to like help series improve or artists improve, however. But you know, if you're doing it like in the context of just being like a drama tuber, just like forget it, man. That just sounds like a hell to me. Oh yeah, like the whatnot or the yeah, anything with like the Pokemon TCG is just like super toxic. I don't know, for right now, just I think just focusing on just having fun is more important. Just do things that you enjoy doing more than just appeasing to like communities is more important, honestly. But I guess, you know, that again, I think it's just like, I think part of it too is just like, if you don't have alternate sources of income, I guess like that does change your mentality a bit. Cause I'm not gonna lie, doing like, right, exactly. Yeah, like finding that niche that like people really enjoy. I'm sure like we'll both find one. It's just, it takes time. I will say the game dev like community is very cool though on YouTube. So I'll be excited to get back into that again. I don't know why Android 16 looks like a child here. I'm gonna have to change like the proportions a bit more probably. It'll be exciting though to finish one of these because I've been wanting to do that. I know. It's funny. I think his new one's great though. His new design. Albeit a little more edgy. A little more. It's just funny because like his is way more stylish than mine. Mine is just like goofy dog. And then his is like edgelord gremlin. I know, man, he's super tough. Don't mess with him. He's gonna steal your lunch money. He wouldn't do that though, he's too nice. But he do look tough. Man, I don't know why the androids are hard to draw for me. It's so easy to make them look like goofy. It's probably good to focus on them now though. What was I saying? Oh yeah, no, Yeah, I'm kind of excited to work on this because like I've been wanting to finish like an actual like I don't know what you call it, like a collage. I always wanted to like finish this type of like picture where there's just like a bunch of characters on there. Honestly, it was just like I saw it recently again, and I think I've had this problem of like, at least at the time I was having a problem where it would just either take me forever to finish something or I just never finished a piece, and that always irked me. I'm much better about it now, but I looked at this one and again I was like, oh, this would be great to like finish like a big piece for the first time. Like I think that would be like a big accomplishment for myself, at least, like to be able to do something like this. And you know, hopefully people like it. I don't know. I also just haven't drawn like Dragon Ball anything in a while too, and I love the series so much. Between that and Sonic, like that was those were basically like the two series that got me into like drawing. But definitely like Dragon Ball Z was what got me into the animation side of things. Especially like for Neverwake in particular, I kind of want to take techniques that I studied from like Original Z and see like how I could put that into Neverwake. I think his eyes are just not wide enough. Maybe that's what it is. The androids have like these weird like doll look to them. They have like really tall. They have like very tall faces and like wide eyes. Kind of hard to like get it just right. Don't give him that. Hmm. Yeah, I think the hardest characters to draw are the androids and Piccolo. Those are like the two hardest. Well, well, I guess androids would technically. What? No. I was gonna bucket cell into there, but not like a android per se. More artificial life form. Cell is surprisingly hard, but I think it's just because of like the amount of patterns like he has on his skin, especially like with perfect cell. It's really hard. But he's a cool looking character. Yeah. It's just funny because like he kept changing like the design of him, and I'm like it just looked like it was getting harder and harder every time he changed it. I need to fix like the jaw. It's closer. But yeah, I've always wanted to do like this style of like pictures. You know who what's his name? Corn Art, I think his name is, on Twitter. He does similar stuff where he just does these like giant collages, but he does it so fast. It's crazy. But I really like that. But I was like, I need to start doing similar stuff too, because they always look impressive to me. Yeah, his art's really good. But yeah, I mean, assuming assuming I can get through this in a reasonable amount of time, like, I'd love to start doing more like these. Yeah. I need to start posting it on on DeviantArt. I haven't used DeviantArt in forever. I know it's probably not as popular nowadays, but maybe not the best reputation either. But oh well, it's a platform. I know they got in trouble for like some AI related stuff a while back. It used to be awesome to use back in the day. Nowadays, it attracted some weird folks. But again, I think that's just the product of getting popular. I think is just you're eventually going to attract some weird ones. I don't know how good it is nowadays. I think the last time I used it was like back in like 2022, maybe? I can't remember. I don't know how much it's changed since then, but might be worth posting on there as well. Wondering if I should put something in here. I won't worry about that yet. I was originally thinking like I could put like core and tower here maybe, but not sure yet. Kind of just like a random empty space where everything is like kind of filled up everywhere else. Oh yeah, true. I could do that. I'll think about it. Because originally I was thinking of like the scene where at the very end, or not the very end, but where he basically tells them like, go, they wish Shenron and to bring Goku back to life, and he's like, no thanks, sir, stay dead. Bye, son. I have not found the milk yet. But yeah, I have to think about it some more because there was this one shot from the anime that I wanted to recreate on the other side where it has like Earth right behind Cell. That was like, oh, that'd be cool to recreate. So I don't know if having like 2 planets on the top would be interesting or not, but I could play around with it, yeah. Yeah, and then this scene here is like the scene with future Trunks and Gohan. Yeah. Alright, that doesn't look too bad. Scarf needs to be a little bit bigger, maybe. Yep. that down. Still looks like a little too wide. Nope. This probably needs to go a little bit more right. Right now I'm just kind of playing around some more with the scale for all the proportions and stuff, because still trying to figure out what looks right. Sometimes you just gotta like start stretching or shrinking things till it looks right before you start going like crazy on like details and stuff. There's nothing more annoying than like completely shading and lighting something and then you like flip the canvas, you're like, oh, this looks terrible. Definitely want to have to play around this some more later. But I don't want to waste too much more time on them on stream. I might try to go for a new, like a different style for it. Maybe do like add like a separate scene lighting. So like for the Kamehameha, the father-son Kamehameha, I'd probably add like blue lighting there, and then for the final flash, maybe add like yellow highlights. Like basically, maybe something a little more thematic. I'm not sure. I could go for like anime colors specifically, but that might end up making things look a little flat if we're not using scene lighting. Or like, and basically like what I mean is like giving each like set within the collage like its own way to stand out. Yeah, I would definitely have to just play around and see like what works. I think that's better than a good example of what I mean of like if you're just going with like flat animate or flat like the flat colors for like the anime style is like, you remember like the what is it, the splashes they use for like Dragon Ball Kai? Like they looked like Yamamuro's like his old style is like amazing, but like the modern version that he did like pre-super was super flat. It looks so weird. I mean, I don't blame him that much, because you know he took a major break from the series after like Z was done. Like he went to go work on One Piece and stuff like that. So like style change, after a while you just kind of forget how to do certain things, but like when he initially went back, like it just looked rough, bro. I mean, anatomy is one thing, but like his color choice, like it was super weird too. Cause like, I don't know what it was, like around like, around that time too, like he kept trying to add highlights to everything, and like it can work, but a lot of times like it's felt super plasticky. Cause like they would try to go for like white highlights. GT was like a good example of that, and it just doesn't work a lot of the time. Like you generally don't want to add like a second like set of highlights. It looks kind of, it if you don't do it correctly, like it'll just look super weird. You're much better off adding one tone of highlight, one tone of shading, and appropriately match those colors to fit the scene or the background. Yeah, Shintani's artwork was like a lot of people think of it as more like basic, but it's just that it's it's like a different design approach. He focuses much more on like rounded shapes, which I think still works very well. He knows how to like mix between sharp and rounded designs, so like it just gives us like more modern look. But he also knows like how to use like better color theory than compared to like the Kai era and stuff like that. But I mean, that being said, like, I think a lot of people still view like Yamamoto's work from like early 90s, early to mid 90s is like the face of the series basically, because it was that good. But yeah, Shintani's is amazing. Yeah, probably when I go, probably next time I fly, I'll probably watch that movie again. I really did like Dragon Ball Superhero as well. It was good. I thought I wasn't gonna like the mixture of like 3D in it, but they did a good job with it. It has more of like an airbrush feel to it, which, I mean, it's not like my preference, but it looks nice. I like it. The one series that drives me nuts with the use of like lighting, because it looks so weird, is Baki. Baki looks so strange at times. I mean, it's not really a fair pick, Claw, but it'd probably Goku just for the instant transmission alone. It's such an overpowered technique. I could literally go, as long as there's an energy signature, I can just travel wherever. At practically the speed of light. Beers. You want to be a god of destruction, Claw? Destroy all. True. I mean, on that note, like, I do wish that the anime remake that's coming out, if they do touch that, they actually rework the story, because I don't know, that the Goku Black arc is such a mess, even though it's probably like my favorite from like a what if standpoint. But they rushed it so bad. The ending of that was just so bad. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, definitely weird. Considering she's like, I don't know. It's just weird. Because she's like much older, technically. And then like in the, I don't know, in the anime it's like even weirder. I don't know. Like I like Mai's character in the future. Aside from that, like, it was cool that they like brought back like a Dragon Ball era character and like made her interesting. But as like a love interest type character, it's just really strange. It's like, I guess as long as it's they're both technically of legal age, it's okay, I guess, but it's still weird. I don't know, bro. It's strange. I don't think he had as much like I wouldn't say creative freedom, but I think like he wasn't really that like focused on the series, to be honest. Then I feel like he had more direction with like Daima than he did with Super, to be honest. Daima felt so much more like a Toriyama type series than Super did. Super felt more like, I don't know how to explain it. It felt more like they were appealing to the modern audience than like him doing him, basically. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Whereas with Daima, I think like he had more of like, yeah, exactly. There's like a lot of minor differences, like with the Goku Black arc and the Tournament of Power. But I think that's also just a result of, you know, like Super being finished on the anime before the manga was. At least up until that point, because the manga just kind of kept going after that. I am kind of interested to see like how they'll adapt the Moro arc, though. The Galactic Patrol and Moro arc. If you do start with Super, watch what is it? Yeah, I would say like if you've watched the movies, skip like the first, like skip the anime like adaptations of those arcs. It is for the most part, it's like not really that different. And it's just like a lower budget version of those same arcs. So like you could probably go to, what is it, the Universe 6 tournament? I think happens after that. Oh yeah, they did. They had a filler copy. Yeah, the filler copy of Vegeta arc. The only thing that was interesting about that was they had the Ocean dub voice of Vegeta as the copy of Vegeta, which was, I thought was a cute little cameo. Because he went, he went super hard when he did Vegeta. Like his Vegeta was actually really good. What was his name? Oh, Brian Drummond. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. But yeah, aside from that, I would probably not. I would not watch the parts that they already did movie adaptations of. I would go straight to like the Universe tournament, the Universe 6 tournament. But I did hear in the anime remake they're gonna make Beerus like a lot more intimidating, which will be nice, I think. But it's kind of funny because like the anime kind of just set like this precedent of him being more of a goofball. So it's probably going to create some whiplash for me, but it's all right. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it earlier in the stream. Have you guys seen Hoppers yet? Kind of want to see it. It kind of hasn't really been anything else like on my radar as far as like stuff that looks interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it looks cute. I didn't really see anything else like when I was at the theater earlier that looked that promising other than that, but I think they're making another Minions movie. I'm just like, God, how many are they gonna make? And then like, I don't know if they're making another Avengers movie. I don't know. It's just like, bro. I think I saw that, and there's like a, I don't know, it was Supergirl? I can't remember. Oh, nice. I've generally had like good experiences with Spider-Man movies compared to most other of the Marvel property. Spider-Man and Deadpool. The last Deadpool was really funny. I used to do that too, Claw. I would watch movies from my bed, and I'd pass out every time, even like if it was interesting. So I just can't watch it on the bed. I just passed out every time. Although there was this one Avengers movie that was so boring I passed out too. I can't remember which one it was. It wasn't the first Avengers. I actually like that one. They're not as good as the Tobey Maguire films. I think Tobey Maguire was my favorite Spider-Man. But what's his name? Tom Holland. I think he does a decent job. Andrew Garfield's good too. Did they just get bored at when at the movies, Claw? They're not into movies. You gotta get the home theater set up. Yeah, like you have to basically like put lights on during the movie. They don't fall asleep. My mom's like that too, though. Well, I mean, that makes sense because it's like, you know, when you're at home, that's basically like your comfort zone. So Uh, I'm checking. Apparently, it's the rooftop level 3 from Jackie Chan's Stuntmaster. Which that game has the funniest intro. The characters look, they look like, I mean, it's from the 90s, but they look like Roblox characters. Roblox before it was Roblox. Yeah. I have to play it. I have it, but I haven't played it yet. But the intro, I've seen the intro like at Game Grumps. I laugh at it every time. You bring a blanket with you to the movies? Interesting. Is it just like cold in the theater, or is it just like, I need to be extra cozy for this? Yeah, he had a game. But it was like late 90s. I remember also seeing the cartoon Claw. I can't say that I've been cold in the movie theater that often, so I couldn't tell you here. Usually I'm too warm. More often than not. You should add heated seats in the movie theaters. I know they do the recliners in a lot of places now, but it'd be funny if they added heated seats on top of that. My favorite movie theater setup though has got to be the Tempur-Pedic beds. Yeah, Yeah, that one in particular, you could order food from the seat too. It is a wild experience. Yeah, I don't think it's a US thing, and I'm pretty sure why. They fucking destroy that here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think in like more Asian like countries, I think there's more of a trust system when it comes to that the US would never adhere to. I think that's why like certain things are just not adopted here that you see elsewhere, and you're like, damn, I wish we had that. Yeah, that, oh my god, that would be a nightmare if they brought that to the US. My god. Yeah, exactly. I think that's why a lot of things that like I especially like seeing like on YouTube and stuff where like things with like the vending machines, the highly specialized ones, um and just the way like certain things are done there from like a consumer standpoint would just never fly in the US. I think that's why a lot of things are just not adopted here. We just have a completely different system altogether because a lot of people ruin it here. One thing I do hope that they bring to the US is the like the healthier convenience stores that like they have at this in the 7-Elevens in like Japan. Is it I think Taiwan has it as well. Because the 7-Elevens here, I mean, they're rough. Yeah, for me, if I wanted to find that, I'd probably have to drive like an hour out to get something similar. It's not happening. Hmm. Yeah, I do hope they do more adoption of that sort of like healthier options here, but I don't know. I'm not banking on it either. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like, I like salad, but it's like, as the only option, it kind of sucks. Yeah. The ones from like Chipotle and all that, they're kind of whatever. They're not worth the price nowadays. Although honestly, I feel like that could be said for a majority of like quick service food. Oh yeah, I do like me some salmon with veggies. The closest thing we have to that is like the poke bowls. Those are good. But from like a lesser known like chain. But those are really good. But I think the biggest thing is just like the cost is like really rough if you want to eat healthy nowadays. Unless you just decide to make it all from home. But then again, it's like, now you're trading time. God, why does tomorrow have to be Monday? Weekend just went by like zoom. It's wild, man. I blink and like the week's over. I do want to stay on longer, but I think I'll probably end it around 11:45 for me, because I I gotta get up for work tomorrow early. Blech. But yeah, I'll work on this some more offline. Ugh. They still kind of look goofy to me, but I mean, it's better than it was at the beginning. Thank you, Claw. I think what I'm gonna have to do is just might have to make some more adjustments for them. The other thing too is just that the line density isn't the same either. I kind of want to keep it like thicker, like I did for all the other characters too. I think that was one of the mistakes I did on the old version, as well as I kept it very thin, and I'm like, yeah, it'd be kind of interesting to make it a little bit thicker, so, or at least like have more variety. It's gonna be different. Mainly in that, I'll probably do a little bit, how do I say it? Like, it'll be less flat looking compared to the old one. The old one was very, like, all over the place. Very, like, very similar to just like the flat color palettes for like their anime palettes, without any like regard to like scene lighting, or like none of them had like any sort of like color identity, basically. Like each section didn't really have like any mood to it, other than like just, oh hey, here's the character. Whereas I'd probably this time I'd probably like add a little bit of like thematic coloring, or at least some like maybe like some soft lighting, things like that, to fit like the moods of the characters. Like probably some like highlights for like the energy, or the key, or the Kamehameha and things like that. So I think it'll be much more interesting than the old one. It's just gonna take a bit of time, so. Yeah, I'm excited to see where it ends up. It'll definitely look a lot better once we get to coloring. Line work, I mean, it's not bad, but it's not as fun as the coloring for me. but I think that's a majority of artists. It's a necessary part, but yeah, it's very time consuming. It doesn't come to life until you get to the coloring. I'd say with digital, it's like it's a lot easier for sure. But yeah, it's just really like the line work here is not great yet. But the closest like example I could think to like my approach to line art, I'd probably put it akin to like sculpting, where it's like you add like a blob and then you just erase it until like you create an edge. Like that's easier for me than to try to do like lines over and over and over and over. I don't have like as steady of a hand, so it's just easier for me to do it that way than to like try to rely on the lines being perfect every single time. Yeah, I wouldn't worry like if like the initial drawing looks stiff, as long as you know like what you want the end like what it should look like in the end. Like it's really just a matter of like plopping something on there. If you can get a basic idea of what it's going to look like, even if it looks wonky, like if you know where to go from there, it's just a matter of like just taking like a piece here and then you know you could just select it out, move it down however, and then just start playing with the shapes like that. It's been easier for me than to like keep redrawing the same, like erasing everything and then redrawing all over again. Like it just, I think it still takes like time to get used to that, but it's easier for me to understand, or easier for my workflow. But that's also why my drawings look like ass in the beginning, is just because I go into it with like that mindset of like, yeah, it's gonna look like blobs at first, or the anatomy is not gonna look right because I'm just kind of getting what I like, an initial sketch going, just something on the canvas to work with. But as long as you know like what you want it to look like and how to get there, like you're fine. Like it doesn't really matter that much. separation here. Yeah, I'll probably call it a night, guys. It's almost 10 to. I want to stay on longer, but yeah, I gotta sleep. I gotta be responsible. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining, guys. Yeah, sorry again that I was a little bit late, but I'll make up for it the next stream. Probably go back to the Pokemon intro Tuesday. Yeah. I didn't expect it to take so long coming back. That's okay. But yeah, Pokemon stream next Tuesday. Hopefully we can get those 3 cuts of Pikachu running towards the camera done that stream. And then we'll have just like the 3 remaining scenes after that. So basically the goal for that one, get it done by like the first week of April. I think we're on track to getting that done, so and then I'll try to get a little bit more work done on this in between now and Thursday. So, but yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Y'all have a fantastic evening and love you. See y'all next time.